Welcome to an all-new episode of the Crowning Achievement, the show where we explore the in and out of some of your favorite esports personalities. My name is Fire Blaster, and I'll be your host going through this journey of seeing how different people just are in this community altogether. Today, our guest is somebody from the East Coast. They're a great personality. We're going to go ahead and invite them to a chat, and we'll go ahead and get them introduced, and we'll get started. Let's go ahead and get them. All right. Are you there?
Hello?
Hey, there he is. So, today's guest is one of the pillars of our Smash community through the tough times of the disease and the rampant thing that was going on about 2021, and has started to really make a name for himself being a premier piece in the business. Please welcome our guest, Skiff, from the East Coast. Welcome to the show.
Hey, what's going on? Hey, how you doing?
Good. We had some minor difficulties earlier today. We were gonna have another guest, but we rescheduled them tomorrow. But you were already on the schedule for this, so this is gonna be a great time to kind of explore, who you are, where you come from, that kind of sort of thing. Unfortunately, we won't be playing friendlies for a little bit because somebody got banned. I'm not gonna say names, but you definitely know who they are.
Not me.
But yeah. So what we're gonna go ahead and do is we'll start from the beginning. We'll explore your roots, like where you came from, and then we'll get into the future of what you're looking to try to do later on down the line. So let's go ahead and start at the beginning. What region are you from exactly? And we'll go ahead and start with that. Is what region are you from currently?
So that's a bit of a loaded question. So I'm from Massachusetts. I was born and raised there for about 22 years, right? After that, I had joined the Air Force, and I moved to North Dakota for about 6 years or so. So that's kind of like where everything started for me. I actually have always been playing Smash Bros. I've always kind of followed the competitive scene, right? But I never really did anything until about like the last year or two while I was in North Dakota. That's when I actually started going to tournaments and like casting and stuff like that. And then from there, obviously we had the pandemic, and that's kind of like where everything started to fall into place for me. But I've also just moved down to Virginia since then.
Okay, so you would say you're over in that East Coast area currently, but you really wouldn't call it your home. You just recently got there, so it would be more like North Dakota would be considered your home. Is that correct?
Yeah. Oh, no. Massachusetts is home.
Massachusetts.
Yeah. North Dakota is just where I was for like getting started, I guess.
That's fair. The next question is kind of one that I've seen a lot of different personalities it kind of differs for a lot of people. And what inspired you to start with esports, really? Like, what was your drive starting out? Like,
for like casting?
Like anything, casting, playing, whatever you started with first is like, what would you feel like was your inspiration?
Honestly, just I like playing video games. I kind of grew up with them forever. Like my first video game was literally like Super Mario Bros. From like the Nintendo. I've just always played it. Pokemon was huge when I was 6. I got Pokemon Red when that came out. Still got my Game Boy Pocket that works.
Nice.
And it's pretty much I just love to play video games. Smash Bros is one of my favorite video game franchises. I've always played this game. I've gotten every game as it's come out, and it's just something that I really like to do. And then getting involved with the community, I've always aspired, to think, hey, what could I be like as a caster? And I've always watched the greats, like TK, Coney, E, Scar, Toph, watching them do their thing. And I was like, that'd be cool to do. And one day I finally got the chance to do it in North Dakota, and people liked what I was doing. And then online happened, and I just found the right people, and that's where I am today.
That's awesome. What up to this point, like, usually, you know, with your TK Breezies, your EEs, right? They have something that they're known for. Obviously, you know, like Coney being that goofy kind of guy that, you know, is willing to let himself be known. What are you known for, and up to this point in your career?
Um, But it depends on who you ask, I guess. I think I'm just kind of known for being the guy with the energy, I guess, is the best way to describe that. You know, I'm loud on the mic, and I'm loud in person. Anybody who's met me definitely knows that, you know, I bring a certain volume to conversations and whatnot. But that's pretty much what I would say is where, like, I guess I'm more known for. It's just the raw energy and volume and, like, just trying to, you know, hype up moments as best I can.
Oh, okay, that's pretty cool. I definitely see. You know, we've only met once personally. Me and him actually met over at Riptide when I went down over to Ohio. So it was a great time. We bounced ideas off of each other and stuff like that. So I could definitely see that as your casting call, as like, you know, that's what you want to drive to the community, is, you know, that energy, the passion, you know, that kind of thing. So I definitely could see, you know, that being where you're at. So that's cool. What drives you to succeed and try to be like the best in the business at commentary? Do you have anything specifically?
So what drives me, honestly, is just the fact that it's something I truly enjoy in life that doesn't give me the same exact, I guess, feeling of accomplishment that I have in other fields of my life. You know, it's one of the things that, like, I'm really good at. I really enjoy, and I love working with the people that I work with. You know, having a great static co-caster like Ajax, and being able to work with someone like Last as often as I do. That's kind of like the big thing. It's just the people I get to work with, and the fact that it's something I really, really enjoy. I think that's the big part.
Yeah, I definitely can see where, like, some people just want to try to, like, get on the mic and be like, hey, you know, like, have the thing under the belt. They're like, hey, you know, I'm a commentator, I'm a TO and stuff. But, like, I really have, like, the feel for people who, like us, where, like, we've consistently tried to put, like, a consistency to what we do on the mic. Like, it's not
Right.
just something that we want to do just to put another name under our belt. It's something that we've strived to get better, and that's what I appreciate about you, is, like, it seems like when you get criticism for certain things, as a commentator, you take those and then you try to get better with them. So that's definitely one of those things that I wanted to point out.
Yeah.
What are some of your memorable moments on the mic? Do you have any particular stories or anything that happened while you're working with certain people that really sticks out in your mind to this point? Like anything, like any particular tournament, any particular set, anything like that?
For online, 100% would be there's two things that stick out the most. There's both of them were working with Last over at the Juice Box. These are both Juice Box tournaments.
Okay.
And, you know, so I was on the mic with Rickles. Rickles is a great friend of mine. Really, really enjoy working with him. And one of them was basically, it was like a 3-week stint of, like, Aaron versus Spargo online, like in the grand finals every time, and it was just a wild ride. They were bringing, like, the competition, they were bringing the fire. They were pulling out stuff like we hadn't seen, and it was just like raw competition straight up. Like, you could not tell me who was going to win one way or another. Past that would be Juicebox 10, which is really funny because it ended up being a grand finals between MK Leo and Tweak. Wow. And it's just funny to think that, like, I have a grand finals between those two taking each other, you know, apart or whatever. And it's online, it's Wi-Fi, so I mean, take that with a grain of salt or whatever. But still, It's like I cast a grand finals set between Tweak and MK Leo. And I just think that's really funny to think about. It's just a really goofy situation there. For offline would 100% be huge shout out to RJ and the Collision crew. They are absolutely phenomenal. It took a while to kind of start working with RJ, right? Because RJ had guys he liked to work with, but as soon as I got to work with him and he realized like how passionate I was and how much I like to do what I do, it's like he's looked out for me. He's kept me in mind for a lot of gigs that come up. Like this past Collision 2022, he gave me a top 16 winner side block with Ajax, and that was just absolutely wonderful. We had Banjo on the mic as well. It was just a super good time. When he brought me onto still an online tournament technically, but the Pandemic Anniversary Series, the finale for that, when it was like me, Ajax, Koopa, and Flambeau, and we're all in a studio in New York City just casting the matches. It was so fun. Like it was 8 hours, 9 hours. It was a long time, but it was so much fun, man. I had such a good time visiting all them, and I got to see all them for the first time and stuff like that. So it was just absolutely wonderful. Collision was good. Collision Infinite was good. Yeah, I would probably say like yeah, those are just my big ones, man. They were excellent the whole way through.
Well, that's cool. So obviously, with all the positives and everything, right? I like to, give you guys an opportunity to kind of voice your opinion, right? In these sectors, it's about getting to know who our people, personalities, commentators, and POs and stuff like that are in the community. But really, one of the main things I wanted to do with this series is give you guys an opportunity to really voice your opinion. So this question is going to be, in your opinion, what would you change personally in the community? If it could be anything, it could be assortment of things, anything that you feel like that can be changed, and this will give you an opportunity to state what you think should be changed and how it should be changed.
If there was something I could change, it'd probably be how the community handles a lot of things in general. So it's no surprise, right? And we all know that there's a lot of people in the community who, no offense, but it does not seem like they think for themselves very much, right? They wait for someone else to be mad about something, and then there's like that group collective where everybody just kind of, dog piles on someone who made a small mistake. And it's just like, I think that's one of the worst things possible. There are people who absolutely deserve to get dog piled, don't get me wrong. But there's a bunch of small stuff that's really not as big of a deal. And I think people just need to dial it back and just think like, hey, things are not that serious. like it's not that bad. If whoever's dealing with something, right, or they did something, like if they're trying to actively improve themselves, let them work on themselves. But you gotta hold people accountable, 100% hold people accountable. But you gotta allow people a chance to just fix themselves, right? And I mean just that, if someone makes a mistake, and I mean a mistake, I don't mean saying slurs or something like that. That's not necessarily a mistake. That's just kind of being trashy. But someone makes a mistake on something simple, I know the whole pronouns thing is huge. Sometimes people mistake pronouns. You don't need to jump on someone for that. As long as they recognize why they were wrong and how they messed up, and they apologize and correct their actions, that's easy fix. Nothing crazy, right? There's just a few things in general like that. The community attitude could be a bit more sympathetic in some ways, but could also just be more. What's the word I'm thinking of here? Just not as rude about everything. I love making fun of people, right? Just as much as the next guy. But there comes a point in time where you just kind of be like, you gotta take it easy, man. You gotta let people live.
Right. Yeah. People don't realize that, especially for the top level people. By the way, I finally got unbanned, so I went ahead and sent you the room and everything, so we can start getting friendlies in towards the end of this. But in my opinion, I think a lot of people, especially for the bigger personalities and stuff, they don't realize that we're already under a big microscope. If you screw up on the mic, or you screw up as a player, right, and you're at the top level, you're already going to get scrutinized by the TOs and get questioned by the TOs and the people who are organizing and the sponsors and stuff like that.
Yeah,
but they
let,
don't.
let the people
Like,
let the people in charge like handle issues, right? Like we don't need pitchforks to handle every situation. Pitchfork and torches,
right.
but outside that, I guess I don't know. There isn't really much to change. I mean, obviously, it's really just kind of comes down like all the big negatives for me really just come down to sometimes the mob mentality and just the overall negative attitudes people have. Because other than that, I think a lot of Smash Bros is great. Like it's not perfect, right? Like we're still trying to figure out what a perfect stage list is. But other than that, like it's just like I don't know. It's a really good time. I get to see a lot of friends. I have a fun time all weekend when I see them and when I go to big events, and that's really what it should be all about.
Right, exactly. I have actually a nice story while Skiff's going to be joining this lobby. So, like I told you guys, me and Skiff met at Riptide, right? And so the mask mandate was a huge thing during this time because Riptide was the first big tourney outside of the like bubble, right? Once people got stuck in their homes, this was the first tournament that people were like, hey, let's have a big tournament. Hopefully it goes off the way it's supposed to. Well, right. So me and Skiff are watching top 8, right? And there's this bigger dude right down the line, right? And Skiff looks over and Skiff's like, hey, bro, can you put your mask back on? And he's like, yeah, sure. And he puts his mask back over his nose and his face. 2 or 3 minutes later, Skiff looks back over and he's like, bro, I just asked you, put your mask back on. Put your mask back on, bro. He's like, cool, yeah, I'll do it. And he put his mask back on just for a little bit. And then 3 or 4 minutes later, he looks back down the line. He's like, bro, we all don't want to wear these damn masks. Like, can you just put your mask on and be a person that needs to be wearing their mask? Like, come on, dude, it's not that hard. And, like, so I'm starting to bust up laughing back here because Skiff is just laying into this dude and he's not listening. He tells the TO finally goes over and tells the dude, hey, can you put your mask on properly or you can leave? And he puts the mask on properly, and I just, like, busted out laughing watching the top 8 because, like, this dude just did not want to listen at all. Like,
yeah, you told a very, very PG safe version of that story. Because, man, that guy was really getting at me, man. He was just being stupid for no reason. I was about ready to fight. Like, I hate being disrespected. That's one thing I can't stand. Like, if I'm just asking you to do something, you gotta act like a fool. It's like, all right, man.
Right, but it's hilarious. Okay, so one of the other things that I like to ask, and so obviously with the negatives, you have to have the positives. So my big thing, which is the, like, let's say the creme de la creme of this interview show, right, is called it's called crowning achievement for a reason, right? So the headliner question is what is your crowning achievement up to this point? Like, what would you say your crowning achievement is? It could be like a big event you got that you weren't expecting. It could be like something unexpected that happened, something along those lines that you would say, hey, this is my crowning achievement. Like, this is what I'm here for. This is what I got. And nobody can take that away from me because, I got it,
Yeah, I think a lot of just my casting opportunities in general. Like, I'm not trying to take like all the credit. Like, oh, I'm the only one who did this. It came down to meeting a lot of the right people who cared about what I cared about. Saw that I'm willing to put in the work and stuff like that, and they took a shot at me, or a shot on me, and just like, let's see, what he can do. Let's see if he's that, passionate and caring. But like a big one, is just like the fact that it's that, but I did it in such a quick time, honestly. Like between casting like Smash Bros, like when I first started, and then like getting like real big gigs and stuff like that. Like I started commenting Smash Bros up in North Dakota, and about a little under a year later is when the quarantine happened, and then like about 6 months after that is when we had like the juice box becoming a big thing. Right. So that's kind of like how I got my name like really going there, and I got to give a big shout out to Last for really kind of giving me the chance to do that, because it allowed me to go that much further. And the fact that I ended up being like a caster who's capable of doing top 16 blocks like I have a couple times now, after what I consider a very short time compared to a lot of other casters, like that would probably be my crowning achievement, to be honest.
Okay, that's awesome to hear, that you feel like, you've already you haven't hit Mount Rushmore yet, because obviously in this business it's
I'm never going into probably.
But at least you've gotten to the point where you're confident enough that you can get these majors and, you know, really be yourself and not have to worry about like the scrutiny that comes with this position. So that's awesome to hear. So what we're gonna go ahead and do, since you know that we're getting towards the back part of this interview, is we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna finish out this friendly, and we're gonna open it up to Q&A to the audience. We always like to do that for our people. So if our people in the audience have any kind of questions or concerns or anything that they want to bring up with Skiff, this gives you that opportunity to ask those questions while we try to finish up this particular part of the program. So we'll give this about three or 4 minutes, and if they have any questions for you, then they can go ahead and ask those.
Man, Banjo's so fun. I wish they made him better.
Yeah.
Like, I think he's actually legitimately fun to play as he is now, but I just wish they gave him like better frame data and stuff like that. I wish he was a top tier, and I don't care what anybody says about that.
I think it would have been cool to have like a retro person that came in this past, you know, character slots and everything actually be good, because, you know, none of the retro people are any good. Like, you know, Piranha Plant, you know, Banjo, those guys, they're not the best. Like,
I don't know how to tell you this, man, but like, Kazuya is considered a retro character now. Like, he still has a lot of relevancy today, but characters like Kazuya and Sephiroth, they're considered retro. And that's just like, it's just something I've struggled to like deal with because of the fact that, like, you know, I'm 30. These are games I played when I was a kid, but like, I remember when I was, what was it, when the GameCube came out, a retro system, or the Wii, when the Wii came out, a retro system was considered like the Nintendo, right? Like the regular Nintendo. But the year span between that, right, and then the year span between the Wii and like the Switch now is the same amount of time. Like, it's kind of scary to think about.
Yeah, you know, and also, so I don't know what you guys are looking into, but the scheduling for this particular show is actually kind of getting pretty interesting. So, like I said, we had to reschedule Cat. He had some stuff that came up today with his girlfriend flying in, so he's gonna be our guest tomorrow, which is gonna be fun. He's actually one that I was wanting to get as the premiere episode for this show, but that didn't happen. So then we end up getting European's best, Tony Z Tank. So that was a fun interview. Then we've got, you know, Last will be coming up at the beginning of next month. He's going to be one of the headliners next month. We got Hazmat coming up here, and the end of this month we got Hazmat. Kirby Kid, which is the best K Rool, he's going to be the end of this week. Him and Knuckles Up, so it's going to be a fun time. Hopefully
I've interviewed Knuckles Up before. That dude's a character, man.
Oh man, so to give you an idea, so I'm trying to get better, right, with combos and stuff as K Rool. Obviously, you know, I'm not known for being I'm a decent player, but I'm not a great player. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna get some, you know, some coaching. So they're like, yo, hit up, I asked the K Rool Discord, and they're like, hit up Knuckles Up. He's gonna be your best shot. I'm like, okay, cool. So I hit up Knuckles Up, and he's like, yeah, bro, I'd love to help another K Rool. So I'm like, yeah, cool. And then I get coaching from him, and this is the week where I get coaching from him, and I immediately beat one of our players that are now currently PR'd. So it's funny because I beat them, and I'm like, yo, bro, I just got that PR win. Well, they weren't PR yet, but I was like, they're gonna be PR'd this season. Like, I'm 90% sure they're gonna be PR'd. So I'm like, that's awesome. And then he's like, bro, like, I'm hype as hell, like, helping another K Rool. And I'm like, I beat another PR player like a week later, and I'm like, this is actually helping. But then I kind of like, I'm kind of died down and not worried about how I play anymore. Like, it's whatever. I'm gonna be more focused on becoming a commentator more and doing this.
Right.
So I was like, well, it's whatever. So it's just he is a goofy guy, and I finally got to watch him play in person, like not in person, but like live. And man, that guy, his game he blew somebody up, and it wasn't even close. It just made me feel bad.
Right.
But, yeah, like I don't know. We have a lot of people coming up that's gonna be fun, and huge shout outs to like, you said that you went to Collision. Obviously, the TOs there is like RJ is a fantastic person. I've gotten to talk to him a couple times. Cact last, obviously, two huge factors in helping you out throughout the days.
Oh yeah, they've all been super big homies.
Grayola is another one.
Grayola's incredible. Puts in a lot more work and does not deserve half the crap he gets from people.
Right, yeah. Grayola is one of those people that I want to try to get on the show eventually, because like I've got a pretty stacked schedule at this point, but eventually I want to get him on the show. Oh my God, what is this stage?
Oh, you didn't turn this one off.
I think this is legal. It might be, but yeah.
It's not.
Do you know how bad this would be if somebody actually thought this was legal?
Yeah, it'd be good. It'd be dope.
But yeah, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna finish this friendly. You're gonna have the chance to do your shout outs, thanking people, stuff like that, and then we'll go ahead and call it. So I like to try to keep it clean as possible, nothing extra, because I hate when people are too extra when these interview shows. Like, come on, like, why be extra? Yeah, you trying to stand out, but like, you'll get there eventually. You don't gotta like be putting yourself on blast. Like Arbiter was one of my second guests, and that man is wild. Like he's like, I'm gonna open up this doorway. But yeah, I don't know. Lots of fun stuff coming up in the future, and hopefully one of these days, which is something I've been contemplating, and I haven't really like thought it through yet, but we might end up having a couple of these episodes where if it's a decent person, we might actually be having a co-caster coming in. So that might be fun. It's like a co-host.
That'd be cool, yeah.
So hopefully, maybe down the line you guys might see Skiff back on the show. You never know. Like one of those things. Because if anybody's going to be my co-host, it'd probably be either Skiff or Censored or Rod. Like those would be like my two go-to guys. Like if I have to have a co-host for somebody.
Well, I appreciate you thinking of me in that, but that's a big three to be to be a part of. So I appreciate that one a lot.
I mean, I think it's just because, how our personalities interact with each other, because we're both super energetic people, but you're more like pushy energetic, and I'm more of a laid back energetic kind of guy. So I think that's where and then Rod and Censored obviously are two super laid back guys, so that's why we mesh.
Yeah.
So
no, I get you. Yeah.
So this will be your opportunity here. You want to thank anybody up to this point for your career? Anybody you want to like sponsors, anything like that? You can give you opportunity here to go ahead and shout them out.
No sponsors, but here's hoping. But for people, definitely big shout outs to anybody I worked with who kind of helped me get me to this point. Again, that's your last Cat, Grayola, RJ. People like Gimmer and Apostle, they've been fantastic to work with. Who else am I trying to think of here? Rickles been awesome. Ajax, Koopa. There's a lot of names. Censored's one of the first, I guess, bigger name casters I actually worked with. That was back at Armada's Bunker Down 4. We did top 64 together. And that was good. It was a fun time. I knew who Censored was. He didn't know me. Now he knows me. Even he knows who I am now. But no, Censored's a super, super cool dude, man. Every time I've talked to him, he's been nothing but chill. Just about like any of the guys I've mentioned have all been super incredible. I think that's it. Like, there's a lot of names. I'm missing a lot of names, but like people who I appreciate, they know who they are, and that's what really matters. So
Yeah, that's what matters. And also, do you have any future events you want to promote? Anything that you're gonna you're gonna be on the mic that you can announce that has
I
already
will
been
be I will be at Pound. I'm not working. I'll be there competing and just hanging out with the homies.
announced? Awesome.
Which is fine, man. It's like I didn't get hired for it, which was really bummy at first. Like, I wasn't happy, but like all my friends, all the people who I want to succeed got hired.
Right.
And I can't be mad about that. Like yes, I want my own success, but like if the homies are succeeding, I can't be that mad about it, right?
Right.
So that's gonna be a good time. I'll have a lot of free time to do whatever I want. Outside that, I don't really have anything planned too much. I've got a couple of gigs, doing some Brawlhalla stuff. I think I got some more Knockout City stuff coming up. But Smash Bros, I got a little bit of a break, so that's not too bad. I'm excited for it though.
Yeah, that's another thing. If you guys haven't watched Brawlhalla or anything else that this man's commentating for, you definitely should tune into that, because I only had played Brawlhalla maybe a handful of times before watching these guys commentate. It was him and Ajax was on that stream as well, and that thing, like, when you don't know what's going on, but you got people that know what they're doing and bringing that energy, that definitely makes it fun. So you guys should definitely take some time and check that out if you ever get the chance to. So, but I would like again to thank you, Skiff, for coming through.
Thank you for having me.
This is one of those things that I've been working on for a very long time. Just getting people together, trying to get things scheduled. Like, this is not something that I typically do. Like, this is something new to me, and I've wanted to do for a very long time, so I appreciate you coming through and actually being one of the first people to respond back to me when I had offered it, so I appreciate that. And like I said, hopefully we'll have you on the show later on down the line once we get a little more notoriety. Go ahead and shout out your ats if you have any, like your Twitter or YouTube if you have any. You can go ahead and do that now.
Yeah, really just my Twitter at the moment. I do have other projects, but they're like on super hold right now. So like I'm not really streaming or creating videos at the moment, unless I'm feeling like super inspired, and that's been few and far between. But yeah, just follow me on Twitter at Skiff Talks. That's where the majority of stuff you're going to see. Most of the time it's just me acting like an idiot. And I like to say acting to try and hide the fact that I am an idiot.
It's all right. We all are a little bit. So thanks again. I'm going to go ahead and let you go, Skip. And I'm going to do my outro and everything. Appreciate it.
All right, take it easy, brother.
Thanks. All right, guys. That concludes another crowning achievement with Skiff. Like I said, the rest of the schedule this week looks pretty interesting. We got CACT. That's going to be tomorrow. If you're available at 4 o'clock tomorrow Central Time, he will be on the show. We're going to go over his origins, how he became what he's doing now, and everything else. We're going to have Kirby Kid on Friday. We will have a special Saturday episode. Don't get too used to those, because I don't feel like working on doing these on Saturdays unless you guys absolutely like them. But we will have that. We also will have Koopa, which is somebody I forgot to mention. Koopa is going to be on the show next week. He's going to be our headliner next week with Apollo Kage, and then another Saturday episode, which is going to be Hazmat. But he's definitely going to be So I figured with the scheduling, I'm going to try to have one person who's notable in region for every week is what my plan is. And I'm going to have somebody that's notable nationwide or worldwide per month on this show. So if you guys can go ahead and give me a follow on Twitter, it's Fireblaster65. If you guys can give me a follow on YouTube, I have to have 100 subs to be able to get that special URL, so if you guys could help me out, that'd be greatly appreciated. My name's Fireblaster. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Crowning Achievement, and we will see you tomorrow with Speaking to CACT. Hope you have a fantastic rest of your night and have a nice rest of your week.